What is up, my friends? We are live for another episode of the Anfield Agenda podcast. As always, I'm joined by Mr. Conor Crosby and Mr. Chris Stonage. Gents, do you remember the good days last week when we spoke and we were winning and we thought maybe this was going to turn itself around a little bit? It turns out that you two gents were right. It was indeed the fact that we were playing West Ham that made us look good. And Conor, unfortunately, mate, that was just another toothless performance at Anfield. And what really has me concerned, mate, is that home form. You know, even when teams are playing badly, you'd always bank on your home form to kind of get you through these rough patches. But how can this situation at Anfield be turned around, mate?
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, in fairness to the crowd, they got behind the team towards the end. They were almost willing a goal in. But again, like, it's like, fair enough, Sunderland are a decent team, but it's at home under the lights against a newly promoted side at the end of the day. That should be 3 points, no matter what form we're in. That is the type of game we should be 100% winning every single time. And the fact we went behind even in that game is embarrassing. And like you said on the watch along a few times, even if we had won that, it's still papering over a lot of cracks. It wasn't a good performance one bit. And if not for Federico Chiesa at the end saving us, we were just absolutely fucked there, really, weren't we? So I don't know what the answer is, but yeah, just again, another toothless performance, as you said, and it's just not showing no sign to turn around whatsoever.
There is a bit of a beautiful irony, Chris, isn't there, in that was Fede who got back, busted his backside to get back there and clear that ball off. I hope that does mean something to Arna, Chris, because it certainly meant something, and the little celebration as well after he cleared it. That tells me all I need to know about a man who should be out there on the pitch.
Well, yeah, given 100%. I mean, I don't think anything Chiesa does. Chiesa could, like, literally, I don't know, build a shed for Honest Lot. And
you had to go there, didn't you? You had to go there, mate. Well done.
He could do anything really, and I don't think he get a starting performance. I was there last night, and it was yeah, I just don't think it was any better. And to be honest, like even West Ham, I mean, like stats are saying everything, but I just don't think we're challenging goalkeeper anywhere near enough. Like he didn't really have to do anything last night. Like
23 shots, Chris, 4 on target.
Yeah, I want to know the statistics on how many of those were blocked. It's just like it's dull. I've had this conversation. I just don't think that we're going to get out of this. I'm trying my best to be as positive as I can, but it's gone for me.
Can I ask you a question, mate? So James Pearce tweeted out at halftime. I think it was halftime, Conor. Is that right?
It was just before halftime, yeah.
To say that Anfield was growing restless. And they wanted something to feed off, something to get them up off their feet. How would you describe the atmosphere in and around you, and in relation to the manager as well?
Yeah, the first half was it was poor, to be honest with you. It was just like I think people expected to see more, like, and there was a few, sort of there was a few chances on a slot, like coming from both the Anfield Road and the Cop end, but as soon as they scored their goal, I mean, it's like, I don't know, it seemed to waken the crowd up a little bit. Like, actually, Sunderland were giving us something to feed off more than anything. The one and single positive yesterday was the fact that we actually came from behind to get a point. I thought, to be honest, at 1-0, I thought we were done. And we were lucky to get away with a point in the end. But yeah, the atmosphere was only really good after they scored. Which I think is credit to Anfield in that way, but the players aren't giving anything to feed off at the moment.
And on that, Conor, on the players not giving anything to feed off, once again, I'm going to point to our captain and his pre-match comments about owing a performance to the fans. They know what they have to do, and tonight they want to go and put that right. It was so far away from putting that right that I sincerely mean this. They need to stop talking. They just need to stop giving sound bites and stuff, because it's just rubbing people up the wrong way.
Yeah, like, if he does come out afterwards and say, look, we were shit and we need to be better, fair enough. But, like, it's all this, like, even Curtis Jones coming out with, oh, well, we took more shots towards the end, as if that fucking matters one bit. Like, the effort wasn't there. We were poor again. And even Florian Wirtz afterwards was saying, if we continue like this, we'll get better. So it's like, continue like what? Like, dropping more points? Like, it's just, again, glossing over how bad we are. The effort isn't there. And like Van Dijk promised a response, and just wasn't there one bit. And again, just like you said, sound bites every week, and it's all the same, and nothing's changing one bit.
So one thing, Chris, is the language of the manager and some of the players pre and post game. It sounds like they think this is turning and this is getting better. I mean, it's not translating to me, and not any fans that I've spoken with that think that we are showing signs of getting better. I mean, let's be blunt about this, mate. We were a Federico Chiesa block off the line away from losing that game 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, the one positive is that we didn't lose, and I do think we probably deserve to lose, which is a terrifying thought at home to Sunderland. But
we
it
should
was
give them the flowers, by the way. They're a very well coached team.
Yeah, they are, but we're Liverpool. I was saying this yesterday on the coach, like, my God, like what standards are we falling to where we're like, oh, do you know what, Sunderland, well done, great job, yeah. Like, it's Sunderland at home, Liverpool Football Club. Last season, we would not have accepted this. Like, the last 5-10 years, we wouldn't really have. Even when we were our worst, we wouldn't have accepted this. Like, and maybe we are at that level now, but are we seriously like, oh, do you know what? At least we got a point. At least we're moving on. It's just rubbish. It really winds me up when people are like, oh yeah, well, at least we didn't lose. It's like, we are rubbish, lad. Like, if this is where we've fallen to, it's painful watch.
This is what gets me as well, Chris. We're often told about standards. We hear about training ground standards, the history of the club, the traditions of the club. It means something when you're winning because it's an easy thing to say, but when you're losing, we're not seeing it. We're not seeing those standards being held by the manager, by the players, by the captain, by anybody, quite frankly. I want to just say something that has been at the back of my mind for a while, and I don't really know how to word this, so I'm going to give it my best go. Something, Conor, just feels off. The whole situation, the whole aura around the club, the dressing room, something just does not feel right, and I don't dare to guess what it is. It could be arguments in the dressing room. It could be the passing of Diogo still hanging over. It could be a combination of things, but something, mate, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like this is a group that really are together as much as Virgil keeps telling us that they are.
I think, like you said, yeah, it's an amalgamation of a lot of things. Like, obviously, Jota passing is going to be a big thing. It's going to hang over this club for a long time. I'm sure the players are still feeling that every time they enter the training ground and the stadium. But
and we must actually wish him a happy birthday today. Let everybody know we are thinking of him, of course, and his family on the day that's in it.
Of course, yeah. And on top of that, then obviously, like, the poor results, like, I think it all just rolls into one. Like, it's just this big misery snowball, just getting bigger and bigger and bigger as the week goes on, and it's just, we have to just push it back up the hill. Ultimately, we have to get rid of the snowball, just make it smaller, get it up the hill again, and just, yeah, there is, like you said, I don't think it's anything like conspiracy theory kind of stuff, but it's just a lot of just negative factors around the club at the minute, and when that starts to happen, it's very hard to push it back up the hill. So we have to get around it somehow. But yeah, there's just so many things wrong around this club at the minute, and the vibes definitely are off.
What I'm struggling with, Chris, is we're seeing so many statistics that are showing how bad this situation really is. Conor sent me something the other day, is about the XG from set pieces this season, attacking set pieces. We're bottom of the league, Chris. Absolutely stone cold, rock bottom of the Premier League. Brentford are the next one. Chelsea at the top of the pile. Arsenal are quite high up there as well. But Liverpool are bottom from XG from attacking set pieces. I mean, we've got Virgil, Canade, Gravenberch. Like, these aren't small players. And I'm baffled, mate, at how we can be so poor.
Well, and I think in terms of where we were at our absolute best under Jurgen and under Arne, set pieces were a big part of our armory. Like, and in football now, set pieces are becoming more and more important because it's basically like a shortcut to a goal. You don't have to do 28 passes. You can just like lob a ball in and win a header. Like, it is shortcutting football. The fact that we're bottom of that, actually, I wasn't aware of that, but it's very indicative of where we are. But it feels like we're just sort of falling behind a little bit. Like, are we not? We're sort of stuck in a middle ground where we're not quite sure where we are, and that's really frustrating. Especially Van Dijk and Canate. Like, you think they'd win every header from a corner the way, and even this season, look at like PSV game and the Atletico Madrid game. Van Dijk won so many headers from corners. The fact that we've had the least XG is ridiculous.
I've just sent you the image on WhatsApp if you want to check it out while I I'll move on to a different part of it with Conor. It is disturbingly bad how wasteful we are, Conor, in front of goal. I mean, Curtis Jones coming out after the game to say to you, he wasn't speaking to you. I think he was, though, deep down. I think he probably was. To say to the interviewer that we had more shots on goal in the game. I don't know where he's going with that, because literally we had less shots on target than they did and wasted so much more. But there was one moment that it was almost a beautiful irony again, and it was the way they attacked for what could have been their second goal. Goalkeeper getting the ball, pinging it straight up pitch. How many times have we seen Alisson doing that with Mohamed Salah over the years? We defend the corner, bang, Ali goes long. Mohamed Salah holds off a defender, shrugs it in goal, and we wheel away and win.
Yeah, that one against United a couple of years ago comes to mind with that. But could I say, first of all, that ball from the Sunderland keeper, that was a hell of a ball, in fairness. Like, even just to pick him out.
Beautiful ball. You could see how disappointed he was when your man didn't finish it.
He was fuming, yeah. Big Federico Chiesa had to go back and save that one. But yeah, like you said, Curtis Jones mentioned in the shots. Like, fair enough. Like, if you have loads of shots on target and you're making the keeper work, you can make an argument. But like, it was 4 shots on target. They had more. Like, the majority of our shots were Gakpo or Isak cutting in off the left and just blaring it over the bar, taking their points. And then Szoboszlai taking 30-yard pot shots as well. Like, that will pay off every now and again, but you can't. Like, the fact that Szoboszlai taking a shot from 25, 30 yards is one of our main attacking outlets is just ridiculous. Like, we're not getting actual good chances. We're not putting the ball into the box where Isak can pounce on it, or even just taking shots that might rebound out. Like, we're just not hitting the target whatsoever. And again, yeah, just Jones was talking complete nonsense with that one. I don't know what he was on about, but yeah, like, we are just so wasteful in front of goal. I think there was a stat, I can't remember the exact numbers, but like, we're pretty much highest in the league for chances created, and yet we just can't put the ball in the back of the net. So, look, I don't know what the solution is, but yeah, something needs to change up front, because we just aren't sticking it in the net at all.
On that, like, I understand we might be highest in the league for that, but what constitutes a chance for me? I just, like, the amount of shots that we've had this season, that just it doesn't feel like we're challenging goalkeepers. Like, it feels just too easy, especially Forest and PSV, and then again, and even West Ham. Like, Areola probably made 2-3 saves max. Like, we're not having world-class goalkeeping performances against us. Like, we're not being unlucky here. This is a consistent pattern and a consistent.
Yeah, it's not Thibaut Courtois turning into 8 arms every time we play him. Like,
he probably had arguably the best performance against us from a goalkeeper this season, and they lost. So, like, it's a real frustrating one. And I think maybe those stats are, well, I don't know whether they're being weighted incorrectly, because I don't know what constitutes a chance.
We're basically playing with 10 men, lads, with Isak on the pitch. Now, I'm not saying it's because Isak's bad. He isn't at full fitness, and he is not his full sharpness yet. No problem with that. But what really baffles me, Conor, is how do we spend a whole summer tracking a player, trying to build a team to get the best out of this player, bringing in the likes of Wirtz playing behind him, Ekitike, and look like we have absolutely no idea how to get the ball to him to get him involved in the action areas that we need him for. Because let's be honest, he's never going to be somebody like Bobby Firmino that comes deep, opens up play, creates space for. He's in there to score in the 18-yard box. That's it. Feed him across the front of the 6-yard box. Stop putting these check-back crosses, in-swinging ones to nobody, and get early balls across the front of the 6-yard box from wide areas. It's not that hard, but they seem like they've no idea of what to do to get Isak involved in the game.
It's unthinkable, like, spend that level of money. Even like Florian Wirtz, like, he's been moved from number 10 to left wing to right wing. He's been played everywhere. Like, even Frimpong then, Brian's right back, and we're talking about him starting at right wing. Like, all the signings, or Kirk has even been brought in and like not even being like used in the proper way. Like, it just, like, I don't know if that's a slot problem or a Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards problem, but we just buy these players. And like you said, we don't have a plan to actually integrate them into the team. Like you said with Isak, we're not playing to one of his strengths. And what did he have yesterday? Like 14 touches or something. Like, he's not getting the ball whatsoever. And I go back to that chance that he got where he cut in off the left and blared it over the bar. Like, he has to resort to taking these shots, because that's all the shots he's going to get. Like, he's not getting the ball straight across the goal, like we said, into the 6-yard box. So he's being starved, and it's hard to criticize him for that, because he is putting in the yards. He's trying to get into good positions, but we just aren't getting the ball to him ultimately.
What winds me up a lot, Chris, is we've spoken about all these individual flaws. We've spoken about Salah not being at it, Isak not being at it, Canade, Virgil. But ultimately, the style that we play with is down to the manager. And the lack of aggression, the lack of a fast start, the lack of moving the ball quickly through the lines, everything that Arne should be doing to play the style that he wants, which is to overbear teams, to overrun them, to kill them with passes, he's doing the exact opposite. He's almost taking his foot off the gas to be protective, to try and keep the ball. It's not doing that. I just don't understand how he thinks what he's doing now is changing or is going to change into anything that makes us better. There's just no sign of it.
No, exactly. And it hasn't sort of, I think that the one big change I think actually has worked. The one credit was Gomez at right back. Like, I actually do think in the last couple of games we have looked more defensively solid. Like, that's the one bit of praise I'll give him. The rest of it, like, if you've got this collection and amalgamation of issues that are continually happening with individuals, then you have to look above them, and that's where the manager's to blame. Like, you've got problems where you need to find solutions because the results that we are getting aren't acceptable. So I don't know how you can come out and say all this stuff and say, oh yeah, we're improving, we're getting better, when the results just aren't. Like, that it's just not good enough, mate. I think that the blame fully lies on his doorstep. Find more solutions. He's capable of doing it. Just do it, please.
Do you think, Connor, that your gut tells you that Arne will sort this out? Do you have faith in him that he's going to be able to restore the situation? Because he has taking on the aura of Mohamed Salah. He has put him on the bench for 2 games, so we can't say he's afraid to do that. He did it. But I still keep coming back to, I don't see any signs that this is changing. We are what we used to joke about United being, which is Moments FC at the minute. It's just hope something can happen, throw on some good players and hope a moment finds a way to win us the game rather than taking the game with the scruff of the neck and just killing the opposition off.
Yeah, and there was a quote around this. I can't actually find it now, but it was pretty much like him after the match said, like, when you're playing against, again, he mentioned low blocks. He said, like, you have to rely on a moment of magic. It's like, you can't rely on that. Like, yes, it's obviously good to have that, but you can't just, it's just pure vibes we're operating off at the minute. And to answer your question, I'd say I'm at 0.5% faith at this point. Like, if you could ask me my, like, ideal scenario, I would love him to turn it around. I would love to not have to sack him and get a new manager, but ultimately at this point, I just don't see any other option. Like, I just don't see how this turns around without someone else coming in. Like, I just have this feeling, or I'm sure we all do, like, if someone else came in, the next performance will be completely different. We'd probably go on a run of winning 4 or 5 or 6 games out of 7 or 8. Like, we'd go on a good run again, and just fresh ideas, fresh thinking. It resets mentally everything. And no, I just don't think he can turn it around, in all honesty. And it's sad to say that because they love the man, but I think it's just beyond saving at this point. Like, he's losing the fan base and he seems to be losing the players.
Same question for you, Chris, but instead of asking you the second part of it, I'm going to change the second part of it and ask, do you think that we are lacking a wide player who has the ability to take a man on these days? Because that is something I think. Like, you've seen last night, there's a moment Gomez got booked because their wide player took him on, went around the outside, Gomez brought him down. That has a knock-on effect that will impact the rest of the game. And that's why I'm so adamant we need Rio. I mean, to this point, I still don't understand how he wasn't put on that pitch last night. We're blocking the pathway for a man the manager doesn't want to play. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's a clear deficiency. So that question, mate, and the managerial one, do you think he is capable of turning this around?
Yeah, I think I want to add to sort of what Connor said, in the fact that my dream, my want, is that I really want him to turn it around. I do think he's capable of doing it. My faith is gone. Like, I just think this reality is like, it's a 1 in 100 chance for someone for Slot to turn this around. I think it's too far gone. Like, we're seeing patterns now, and I think sometimes you just need a symbol of change. Like, and I think we're in a cycle at the moment where we're same over and over and over again. And I think there just needs to be a break in that cycle. And I think it's in the same sort of similar answer to your question as well. We're in a cycle of, we've had incredible wingers, players who've, cut inside. Mo Salah's done it for his whole career and been incredible at it. Gakpo's done it and delivered goals consistently for the club. But it's got to the point now where it's like, come on, lads, just take someone on. And if not, then utilize your overlaps better, because it's painful to watch sometimes, seeing so many players crammed into an inside space. So, yeah, I really want him to turn it around. I don't think he will. And yes, we definitely need someone to take players on the wide areas.
So, Conor, Canary has understandably come in for criticism this season, and then deservedly so. But, let's not kid ourselves. Virgil hasn't exactly been setting the world on fire either. And, that's another concern because now we've got a centre back whose contract is coming to an end and we don't know where his head's at. We've got a captain who, for the first time against, I think not West Ham, the game before, seemed a little bit tetchy. And last night, his mistake, or two of them, led to the goal. And this laid back attitude of not going and closing down an attacker. I'm going to cry if it happens again. Honestly, it happens. How many times have we seen some version of that goal where Canate or Virgil turn their body sideways and it deflects off their bum, their ankle, their leg, flies over the keeper and it's into the net? It's just like it's unfathomable to me that they aren't running out and closing down. Chris said something at the very start of this podcast where he said, we were talking about the amount of shots we had, and Chris said, I'd love to have the stats for how many shots are blocked. Well, I'd love to have the reverse of those stats to see how many shots our defenders are blocking, because I would say it's pretty slim, mate. Pretty slim.
Or like you said, yeah, even when they are blocked, it's a lower quality block. It's like a deflection off it rather than a complete close down. Like even that Forest game, like you see Elliot Anderson just closing down every 2 seconds, just absolutely battering into players, taking every hit, every knock, just properly going for it. And we're just not doing that. And I find it hard to go in too hard on someone like Van Dijk when like everyone has been shit. Like he hasn't been as good as he usually is, but you can say that about probably 95% of our players this season. Yes, he has been worse than he usually is, or it's like worse, probably not a good word, but outside of 1 or 2 players, everyone's been poor. So I think it is, again, the snowball effect. When we're bad, everyone is bad. But then again, like you said, yeah, like Van Dijk losing the head in that game, I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, he definitely lost his head. And then the mistake, that one, and then just the mistakes then again yesterday, like it's uncharacteristic of him, and it's a worrying sign to be fair. But I think if the team comes back around, if let's say Slock does get sacked and someone else comes in, we start to play well again, I'm sure players will pick up back to their general form. But yeah, definitely worrying in the meantime.
Is it a concern for you, Chris, that passive level of defending?
Yeah, I suppose the thing that annoyed me, it wasn't actually him giving the ball away for the goal. It was as you said, just the lack of effort to go out and block him. Like we've seen so many goals like that over the years for us, and I understand that Van Dijk's style of defending is not your typical sort of naughties defender. Go out and crack him because they think they'll go out and get a better chance if they beat the man. But in the situation we're in at the moment, like we can't afford for the shots to even hit our goal. Like we need to love defending, get out there and win the ball, crack into players sometimes. Like I understand that in certain situations it's better to sometimes maybe let the player have a shot from that far out, but like when you're in this current situation, everything has to be caveated by the fact that we can't afford to concede goals. We can't afford to be wasting these chances, and I really do blame him for that goal. Like for me, it was all on him. And I don't know. I don't know whether he and Kanate at the moment are anywhere near the level. Like I actually don't think Van Dijk's been as bad, but yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to watch and defend him almost.
So one word I would use, Connor, to describe this team as a whole right now is soft. And I think that we really are lacking fight and bite in the middle of the park. I mean, you look at Alexis McAllister, one of the things we'd always say about him is that he was like a little pit bull. 100% effort, getting stuck into challenges. Gravenberch has never been that destroyer. We never expected that of him. But I would say to you, mate, I would put across the argument that we are too easy to play through in the middle and we are too soft as a team at the minute.
Yeah, like if you compare it to like let's say Fabinho, Henderson, Wijnaldum, like Fabinho was just going to crunch everyone. He wasn't going to lay anything past him, and the 2 other boys then will never stop running, never get shirk out of a tackle, and just the attitude doesn't seem to be there. Like outside of Soboslai, obviously, like he's still putting in the graft every single week, but McAllister's been an absolute shadow of himself. Like, and I think it's gone still under the radar. Like he's getting a touch of the Cody Gakpos. Like he's playing in slow motion at times. Like he's just not at it one bit, and Gravenberch has been decent enough this season, but again, not quite as good as he was towards the start of the season or last season. But like you said, yeah, soft is probably a good word in fairness. Like like no one's afraid to play this team anymore. Like we used to be the team that everyone feared playing, and now you have the Sunderland manager basically saying, "Oh yeah, we were delighted to find out we had so much time on the ball." Like that's unacceptable, and it goes back into the whole thing of us being soft. Like we're not hard to play against anymore, and part of that is like the physical toughness and the challenges and just the persistence, everything, and it's again snowballing into just more bad play and everything. It's just I don't even know what the words are anymore. It's just horrendous, all of it.
Turgid has been my favourite word to use to describe this, lads, to be quite honest with you. Stylistically, Chris, every single Liverpool fan I speak to, whether they aren't in, whether they aren't out, whether they have other reasons why they think that we're not winning, they all, to a man, woman, and child, say that every single game we have no identity. And whatever it is that Arna's trying to do, nobody seems to be able to explain it, because possession means nothing in a game of football if you don't do anything with it. And we are a team that keeps helping these low blocks by checking back inside. Even the crossing last night, we know Dominic Szoboszlai is a wonder of a right foot, but the amount of times last night some of our players were checking inside and just throwing in a hopeful cross. I don't know who they're crossing to, because I think the perfect summary of it all was Mohamed Salah right at the end of the match. Edge of the box, got the ball, and I don't know what he was trying to do with that one that he curled towards the goalkeeper, because it was neither a shot nor a cross. That just summarised us attacking to a T at the minute. It's just hitting hope, Chris.
Yeah, huffing and puffing with no real meat to it, is it? Like, it doesn't feel like there's a purpose to our attacks. Like, sort of like, as you mentioned, just waiting for moments of magic, of Szoboszlai to unleash one from 40 yards out, or it feels painful. And I understand the style thing, but I think the biggest thing for me that's worrying is the fact that we just look so easy to play around. Like last year, I felt like we were just, when we lost the ball, we'd be swarming, trying to win the ball back. Like that for me is number one. If you lose the ball, go and win it back, or try and win it back, because that it just doesn't seem like it's oopsie, I've given the ball away. Like, oh well, let Sunderland have it. Like that's fine. It's not like, no, I'm going to go and win the ball back, win my duels, win my battles in the air. It just feels just limp. Like it's just limp at the moment, man. It's depressing. It's just a depression session, this, isn't it? Fucking hell.
It's horrible. It's so bad. Like the one escape that we've all have is football. Like, from a lot of our lives, you've got your day-to-day stuff, you've got your family issues, you've got your own little problems. But football is where everybody comes together. We turn off for a couple of hours and we watch people who are fitter than us, better looking than us, richer than us, run around after a football, and it somehow makes the world a better place, Conor. And as Chris said, man, they're robbing us of that at the minute, and it is so bad. It's just soul destroying. I mean, I openly admit that football has too much of an impact on my well-being, and sometimes I wish it didn't, but it does. And it is just it's tough sledding at the minute, Conor.
It is just depressing, isn't it? Like, even like you think like, oh, we're playing again in 2 days' time. Like, just give us a break. Like, bring back the international breaks or something. I just don't want to watch more football. Give us a little bit of a break, for God's sake. Like, or give us something to cheer about at least. Like, even if we are going to lose a game, at least make it a 5-4 loss. Give us something to actually watch and be excited by. Like, this is just, I think turgid probably is a good word, like you said. Like, it's just monotonous. It's boring. We're not getting results. Like, fair enough if you're an Arsenal and you're boring, but at least you're getting results, so you can look past that. But like you said, yeah, it's so depressing at the minute, isn't it? Like, you have to just laugh about how bad it is, but it's just depressing. And like you said, like, it impacts all of our mental health far too much on a day-to-day basis. Like, in terms of like, if we lose, that'll ruin the whole week. And there's a lot of weeks been ruined lately.
I think that a lot of people are underestimating the bond between the manager and the fans. I just don't think it is anywhere near as strong as some outlets are trying to claim it is, because I just don't think Arne Slot fits Liverpool as well. Obviously, Jurgen was an outlier. He was different. He was almost too good to be true, Chris. The way he just embraced the whole city. Arne is a more reserved man, and I just don't think there's a connection as much with the fan base, with the manager. There's obviously an admiration and a gratitude for winning the league last year. That certainly was incredible, and wow, what a year that was. But I just don't think he has enough goodwill in the bank, mate, ultimately, for the fans to stay with him through this bad time.
Yeah, I want to. Well, it sort of reminds me a little bit. It's a bit Rafa-like. I think obviously Rafa had Istanbul, and that obviously was the most magical evening ever. But like when it got bad for Rafa in certain times, it sort of, he hasn't got the personality or the connection to try and win it over. With Jurgen, there was a real, like, even when we lost 6. Do you remember when we lost 6 games at home in a row in COVID time without scoring a goal?
Chris, if Jurgen was telling me during this run that we were doing really well, I'd be like, yeah, we are, Jurgen. Yeah, we are, mate. You're absolutely right.
But like, we have to admit and acknowledge that there is very rarely any characters like that. They probably come around once every 50, 60 years. So I think Slot has got a goodwill in the bank, purely because of the league victory and because of the way he has carried himself. But it's slowly running out, because I think the one thing is, and me and Conor have said it today, is that we want it to turn around, not only for us but for him, because I do like him, I really, really do. But that compared with the fact that, do we actually think it's going to turn around? I don't think it.
Two very different questions, like, isn't it?
I really, really want it to for him, and I do think he has got a lot of love from the fan base, but it's slowly dwindling, and the longer it goes on, the longer the inevitable is delayed, the worse his legacy at Liverpool will be.
You said it there with that last sentence. The longer this goes on, it's not going. We know deep down that this is a matter of time, and that's why I'm so argumentative about it, because I've never seen a manager turn around a situation like this before. Never, when it's gotten this bad. And the goodwill in the bank from winning the league, I think the turning point for that gone out the window was the Forest game. Personally, I think that was the one where the goodwill came to an end. Then, Conor, we come into this run that's supposed to be the easy run, the easiest run of any of the Premier League teams for the next 8 games. We can't even get through a home game against Sunderland without dropping points. Now we're going, and we'll move on to this in a minute, we're going to a Leeds team who are going to be full of confidence after beating Chelsea convincingly by 3-1. They've taken a bit of pressure off themselves, and they'll look at this as almost a free hit. I just think delaying the inevitable is just wasting everybody's time at this point.
Yeah, like, even during the week, we've seen reports that, like, the club is like, oh, we're not looking at other targets. Like, surely to God, at this point, you're putting up a short list of alternatives. If we're not, then we're completely fucking idiotic. Like, fair enough if you want to try back the manager a little bit, but, like, to say that they're not even looking at other people is just outrageous. Like, he should have been sacked a few games ago. Like we said, we're just staving off the inevitable at this point. And like you said, I don't think anyone's ever turned around from this point. Like, even like Chris said with Klopp, like, that was far into a tenure that was very successful. Pep Guardiola went through a rough patch with Man City, but again, he had the tenure there before that where he'd won so many things, and you knew that was going to turn around ultimately. Like, Slot doesn't have that much credit in the bank. And I keep going back to this, but Leicester City sacked Ranieri after winning the league. If Leicester City can sack their title-winning manager, why can't we? Like, it is just, like, I'd love to know the actual reasoning behind not sacking him. Like, is it, let's say maybe it's a Jota passing during the summer, they don't want to make like a big thing of this now. Is it they actually believe him? Because I don't believe that is the case. Is it just, again, PR? Like, I'm really struggling to figure out what is the hold-up. Like, I don't get this blind faith thing. Like, again, I have no problem if they genuinely think he can turn it around, then maybe he can. But 99.9% of people are saying he can't, and I think 99.9% of people will be right on that. And it is just inevitable, and just pull the plug at this point. It's just gone on too long.
Chris, I'm getting fed up of hearing that Liverpool don't sack managers. I'm getting fed up of hearing that. I'm getting fed up of hearing, because the double speak about standards and we don't do this. We are Liverpool Football Club. We do things differently. Yeah, we win. That's what Liverpool Football Club was. We win. So we get a little blue Peter badge because we don't sack manager stuff. Again, it just leans into almost an arrogance, mate. An arrogance is how I describe it.
Yeah, I mean, like, if a window's broken in a house, like, would you be proud of the fact that you're letting cold air in? Like, it makes me really, like, pissed off. Like, why are we, like, sort of like standing toward? Oh, we don't do that. We're better than that. No, we're not. If we're losing games, like, Roy Hodgson, okay, had 6 months. And yes, it was bad. And we deservedly sacked him and got Kenny in. So there's an example. One manager sacked. You know, Gerard Houllier was sacked for Rafa Benitez. Going back
Kenny
towards them.
Dalglish was sacked.
Kenny Dalglish.
Pretty much every manager aside of Klopp was sacked. Like
Exactly. Brendan Rodgers was sacked. I don't get it. Like we can't rewrite history with bullshit. Like we sack managers. Okay, maybe not the frequency of a Chelsea when we lose 3 games in a row, or a United, or whatever, but we do it. Let's not pretend we're better than people, because that's wrong. I don't like that.
So I've sat back and I've listened to kind of both of you guys name off a few managers there, and you mentioned Rafa before. I can give you a caveat for every single one of them. Rafa had Hicks and Gillette and no money. Hodgson had Hicks and Gillette and no money, and obviously was a wrong fit. We're talking about a manager here, gentlemen, who's won a league title, has some of the greatest players the Premier League scene, has been gifted 450 million Great British pounds to go out there and break the transfer record twice.
Yeah.
And you know, and this is what I'm saying. Like, it's like this is forgotten about in the conversation.
Yeah, and I would say it's the greatest disparity. This at the moment, it's the greatest disparity between expectation and reality than we've ever had, because the expectation now, and whatever happens, the expectation when you spend 450 million pounds is going to go up quite naturally. The reality is we're very, very far down. Maybe under the likes of Hodgson and the latter end of Benitez, where they had no money, that's where the expectation was maybe brought down to here a little bit. But when it's up here and your performance is down here, like, I don't think we've ever had this level of disparity between expectation and reality.
So, gents, what do we think happens at Leeds on Saturday, Connor? We know they're just coming off a very good win. Their own manager was under pressure. You know, there was talk of him being fired. They've relieved some of that pressure by beating Chelsea. They're going to be absolutely chomping at the bit. And what I'm going to say is they are going to come out of the blocks fast, because that's the way Leeds are. It's going to be absolutely lively because the Leeds fans are top notch, and they're going to be making Ellen Road very, very, very hostile in a natural way. So I'm worried, mate. I'm worried because I'm sitting here and I'm in bite your hand off for a draw territory at the minute. That's where I'm at with Leeds away, and I hate saying it.
again, yeah, that just tells us where we are. Like they're like, oh, maybe it wasn't all right point against Sunderland, but maybe we take a point against Leeds. Like, fuck off. Like, how is this the conversation? Like, it's outrageous. And like you, like I'm not one bit confident for that game, especially away from home and Leeds coming off the back of beating Chelsea. Like, I'm looking forward to them opening and scoring in the 4th minute, to be honest. That's just definitely happening. So I'm getting that mentally in my head now.
If Dominic Calvert-Lewin scores, I'm off. Like,
right there, yeah. Like, you asked what did I expect or what I'm expecting on Saturday. I genuinely have no idea at this point. Like, we could genuinely lose 6-0, we could win 6-0. It's probably more likely lose 6-0, but yeah, I'm not one bit optimistic. And not to say I take a draw, but I don't know at this point. Like, it's hard to predict a win, really, isn't it?
It
is. And Chris, what about yourself?
Yeah, we're playing on Saturday, aren't we? Yeah, great, brilliant. Now I can't fail to get excited for a Liverpool match, but it's really, really, really testing at the moment.
You might want to tell your face that, mate.
Yeah.
Your hair is just getting more stressed as the podcast goes on. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm turning into that United Strand bloke, aren't I? Yeah, not cutting my hair until Liverpool don't have a shot blocked in a match. But yeah, no, I think we'll win. Yeah, we'll win. We'll do it. We'll do a few goals more than them.
I have to demand a pee test from you now, Chris. I have to make sure that we're dealing with a clean athlete here, because I don't know, man. I'm not buying into you think we're going to win, but I do love the optimism.
Well, okay. I hope we'll win. That's probably a better scenario. I hope we'll win. Yeah.
To finish up, gents, let's try and find some type of a positive, any type of a positive to end the podcast on. Just give me something, Connor and Chris. And I'll tell you what, I'll go first because this just dawned on me a minute ago. The positive that I have is the new tracksuit top that came out last night that the lads were wearing to Anfield. That to me was beautiful, and it definitely lifted my spirits a little bit. It's the only positive I can give you. So, Connor, help.
Well, we didn't lose to Sunderland. That's a slight improvement. But then I think I won't agree with a lot of what Paul Gorst writes, but this morning he pretty much said a draw is a loss with better PR, and I was like, that is actually spot on, isn't it? Like, that is essentially what happened last night. And other than that, Wirtz nearly scored, like almost got a goal. I don't know, other than that, really. Yeah, like I said, the tracksuit's nice. Yeah, the stadium hasn't fallen down yet. It hasn't rained today yet. You know, there's a few things to be positive about.
Chris, Mr. Sunshine of the Spotless, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Come on.
Federico Chiesa is the one positive from yesterday, and Joe Gomez.
Yeah, but Chiesa won't play again though, so is it really a positive?
Yeah,
Negative is going to stay on the bench again.
I was good, and also the 5 points I had before the match. that was a positive.
I'm sure they were needed by the time the match was over as well, mate.
Let's just say it was. I was firmly sobered up.
I mean, genuinely, you said you're on the coach back. Do these coach journeys start to feel a little bit longer now?
Yeah, every single time. But to be fair, I can't lie to you. I did sleep incredibly well. So on the way back, so nice little nap, bit of Latvian League Football Manager time. You know, at least that's going well.
There you go. See, we found a positive. We've worked hard, but we
There
got
we go,
it.
Chris for next manager.
But this type of stuff doesn't go unnoticed, Crosby. This football manager level stuff.
He took a Latvian team to the Champions League final. Like, that can't be sniffed at.
I took FK Grobina, a team in Latvia who have got a 200-seater capacity stadium, from 9th, which is a 10-team league, to 5th, and then second season I'm in 2nd. But I just want to spread negative PR towards Riga FC, because you bastards, you continue to win games. You're unbeaten all season. Fuck Riga.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck Riga indeed. So that's the end of another episode. Massive thank you to Conor and Pep Stonage down there in the bottom. We'll try to find something to be positive about after the next one. But feel free to let us know anything in the comments that you may see going in the right direction. But look, again, huge love and thank you to Conor and Chris, to you guys for watching and listening. And we will catch up with you soon, hopefully with a bit better news. We'll talk then. Bye-bye.